Now, which injection do we give to a newborn baby? Every newborn baby, if I ask you a random question, every newborn baby is giving some injection. So, which injection do we give to a newborn baby? So, every newborn who is born, we all know that breast milk is deficient. Breast milk is deficient in vitamin K, vitamin D, and vitamin B12 if the mother is a pure vegetarian. That is why every newborn, number one, it is given vitamin K. Now vitamin K comes in a form of injection. It is given intramuscular, and it is given at the anterolateral thigh. It is given at the anterolateral aspect of thigh, and the muscle which we usually prick is vastus lateralis. The muscle which we prick usually is vastus lateralis. These are the important points about vitamin K. It is given intramuscular, it is given at the anterolateral thigh, and because thigh has a good muscle mass, the whole story, the whole logic is that thigh has a good muscle mass. That is why newborns preferably we give injections over the thigh. Number one. And what is the dose of vitamin K? Vitamin K we give 1 milligram. 1 mg will give vitamin K if the baby is less than 1 kg. If the baby is less than 1 kg, we'll give zero point 0.5 milligram. If the baby is more than 1 kg or a term baby, we give normally vitamin K, that is 1 milligram. Next important point, we need to know that breast milk is also deficient in vitamin D. Breast milk is deficient in vitamin D. That is why every newborn is given vitamin D. Now remember one important point, vitamin K comes in injection. Okay, vitamin K is the injection, and vitamin D comes in syrup. Vitamin D comes in syrup. Now what is the dose of vitamin D we give to a newborn baby? So the dose of vitamin D we have is, we have 400 international units in term, the dose in terms, and 800 IU in preterms. 800 IU in preterms. The dose of vitamin D in a term baby is 400 IU, and in a preterm baby it is 800. Next important point we have over here is vitamin K, vitamin D, and vitamin B12. The breast milk is deficient, but we don't give vitamin B12 to a newborn baby. Vitamin B12 we don't usually give, and but we do see symptoms, as in if the mother is a pure vegetarian, the baby also will be kind of deficient in vitamin B12. So the baby can have hypersegmented, can have hyperpigmented knuckles, or peripheral blood smear showing hypersegmented neutrophils. So these are the important things I have told you. Acha, vitamin K, zero point 0.5 mg, 1 mg, so I have told you. Also, you should know 2.5 mg. Where do you give vitamin K? 2.5 mg. In a case of severe acute malnutrition, the dose of vitamin K is 2.5 milligram. And where do you give 5 milligram? Like 1 milligram to 5 milligram in a hemorrhagic disease of newborn. In the cases of hemorrhagic disease of newborn, the dose of vitamin K is 1 to 5 milligram, that you should know. This part is done. Yeah, these are the important points. Vitamin K I told you, vitamin D I told you, and iron. Iron basically you start by 2 to 4 weeks of life. Whenever a newborn is born, imagine after 1 month you will start iron, and you will go iron from 1 month till 1 year. And iron specifically is given to low birth weight baby. Iron we don't give to every baby. Low birth weight baby, we apart from vitamin K, vitamin D, we add iron. Okay, that you should know. Now, what are the differences between the breast milk and the cow's milk? What are the differences between the human milk and the cow's milk? So we always talk about each 100 ml. Like whenever we are telling about the protein and calories and lactose, we're talking about each 100 ml contains. So each 100 ml of breast milk contains around 65 to 67 kilocalories, and cow's milk contains around 72 kilocalories. So each 100 ml of breast milk contains 65 to 67 kilocalories, and cow's milk contains 72 kilocalories. Now, as far as the protein is concerned, please remember 1.1 and 3.1. 1.1 and 3.1. Each 100 ml of breast milk contains 1.1 gram of protein, and cow's milk contains 3.1 gram of protein. So 1.1 and 3.1 you should remember. Now this was the exam question also, that what is there in the cow's milk? What is there in the cow's milk which is 3 times more then the mummy's milk? The answer is protein. Protein in the cow's milk is 3 times more than the mummy's milk. If you can understand here, breast milk or human milk is deficient in protein, deficient in calories. The only thing breast milk is not deficient, the answer is lactose. Remember 7.4 and 4.7. Each 100 ml of breast milk contains 7.4 gram of lactose, and the cow's milk contains 4.7 gram of lactose. So 7.4 and 4.7, these are the very favorite exam questions that you should know. Apart from the proteins, calories, and lactose, let's revise. Breast milk contains 65 to 67 kilocalories, and cow's milk contains 67 to 72 kilocalories. 1.1 and 3.1 is the protein content, 7.4 and 4.7 is the lactose content. Now, as far as the fat is concerned, fat was a Jipmer question. So, roughly each 100 ml of breast milk contains 3.8 gram of fat, whereas 3.7 gram of fat is there in the cow's milk. So, 3.7, we can take one number also, 3.7, 3.7. Okay? Because 7 is here, so I'll remember 3.7 and 3.7. And as the sodium and potassium is concerned, it is around 7 and 14 in the case of human milk, and cow's milk has very much of sodium and what is called potassium. If you talk about the calcium, this also they were asking an exam question. Breast milk contains 33 milligram of what you call calcium, and the cow's milk contains 250 milligram of calcium. Calcium is too much, okay? Calcium is too much is there in the cow's milk. So human milk contains 33 milligram, and the breast milk contains 250 milligram of calcium. That you should know. Done. This part is done. Fat, I told you. Acha, one more thing also. See, this one. Each 100 ml of breast milk contains 1.1 gram of protein, and the cow's milk contains 3.1 gram of protein, right? This is, we spoke about it. Each 100 ml of breast milk contains 1.1 gram of protein, and cow's milk contains 3.1 gram of protein. Remember, preterm pregnancy and preterm milk contains 2.3 gram of protein. So 1.1, 3.1, like I've written 3.5, but for remembering, we keep it like 1.1, 3.1, and 2.3. Each 100 ml of preterm's mother's milk contains 2.3 gram of protein. Knowledge is very beautiful. Knowledge is amazing. Try to understand, try to finish your syllabus. Being a pediatrician is a beautiful and noble job. Like, as in, you need to enjoy life, and successful is the one who enjoys his daily routine. Hardships are there. Today, only someone was messaging me on WhatsApp, Anand sir, what if you can't accept whatever happening in your life? I mean, I feel that I'm stuck somewhere. I told him that don't think it is all in mind, it's all mental block. Once you start finding positive things in everything, then a life will make sense. What is the, again, the fatty acid present in the breast milk, which is important for growth and CNS development, which is that fatty acid present in the breast milk, which helps in CNS development, brain development. Very importantly, remember DHA. DHA, the component present in the breast milk which helps in brain development, eye development, brain development, it is DHA. What is DHA? That is docosahexaenoic acid. What is DHA? DHA is docosahexaenoic acid. This is the component present in the breast milk which basically helps in brain and eye development. That is one thing. Yeah. So human milk contains two type of proteins. 60% it takes whey protein, and 40% it consists of casein. Now this is important. If I ask you a simple question, whey is to casein ratio. Whey is to casein ratio in the breast milk, it is 60 is to 40. Whey to casein ratio in the breast milk is 60 to 40, and just because in the breast milk whey protein is more, breast milk is easily digestible. Just because the whey protein is more in the breast milk is easily digestible. Basically, cow's milk, see, if you talk about cow's milk is actually rich in casein. Is to, if you see the whey is to casein ratio in the cow's milk, it is actually 20 is to 80. It is actually 20 is to 80, and too much of casein is there in the cow's milk. So C for cow milk, C for casein, C for cow's milk, C for casein. So breast milk is rich in casein, and that basically casein causes colicky pain as in stomach pain, and that casein causes constipation. So remember, C, 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 C. Cow's milk is, it is rich in casein, which causes colicky pain, which causes constipation, and which causes a problem known as CMPA. It causes a problem known as CMPA. What is CMPA? It is cow milk protein allergy. It is cow's milk protein allergy. The protein which is there in the cow's milk, the child is allergic to that. How do you know he's allergic to that? In the MCQ, the baby will have bloody diarrhea. Like in general, in the history, the baby will be on the cow's milk and the baby will have bloody diarrhea. And once you stop the cow's milk, the bloody diarrhea is stopped. That is cow milk protein allergy that you should know. Yes. So very importantly, what is this yellowish substance? What is this yellowish thick substance, And this is the first feed of the mother. This is the first feed given from the mother to the baby. This is nothing but colostrum. This is nothing but colostrum. So this also they ask in exam, colostrum. So colostrum is rich in which immunoglobulin? Remember, colostrum is rich in IgA. Colostrum is rich in IgA. It is the first meal of the baby, or you can say it is the first immunization of the baby. So the first meal of the baby and first immunization of the baby, the answer is colostrum, colostrum, colostrum. Well, as in if the exam option comes, the first vaccine given to the baby, we all know it is BCG, OPV, and hepatitis B. But BCG, OPV, hepatitis B, and colostrum, two options are there. You will choose colostrum because colostrum is so important. That's why. So it is the first immunization of the baby. Let's revise. It is a golden thick yellow milk during the first 3 days of life. Golden thick yellow milk. It contains the immunoglobulin A that we have known. It is the ideal first meal and first immunization of the body of the baby. Four MCQs we have again revised. Okay. Remember, that's nice actually. That do you know any other infectious disease where same IgA accumulation is there? Breast milk is rich in IgA, that's very true. And in the case, there's one more entity which is rich in IgA. And what is that? That is Hinong Schonlin purpura. I'll repeat, breast milk is rich in IgA, whereas what it called is a condition known as Hinong Schonlin purpura, which is a small vessel vasculitis. There also you have abnormal accumulation of IgA. That you should know. And we have the colostrum. First is the colostrum, then is the transition milk, and then is the mature milk. What is transitional milk? It is the composition is in between the colostrum and the mature milk. So it is first is colostrum, then we have the transitional milk, and then we have the mature milk. So colostrum, then we have the transitional milk, then we have the mature milk. So colostrum, then transitional milk, and then we have the mature milk. And we all know that mature milk, the main milk of the mother, it is thin, it is watery. This contain less proteins and more of fat and sugar. We all know that mature milk, it is very thin and watery. This doesn't can contain very heavy protein. It contains only 1.1 gram of protein, and mother's milk contains 3.1 gram of protein. And this one has little bit more fat and the sugar. So that you should know. That's it. This part is done. Also, preterm milk. This also very simple mnemonic they had given. Preterm, as I told you, that 1.1, 3.1, and 2.3. If we talk about the protein content, each 100 ml of breast milk contains 1.1 gram of protein, and cow's milk contains 3.1 gram of protein, and preterm milk contains 2.3 gram of protein. So preterm milk is more in protein. But preterm milk is also rich in sodium, like a lot of things. The mnemonic we have is SIFIC. The mnemonic we have is SIFIC. So preterm milk is rich in sodium, iron, protein. Sodium, iron, protein. After sodium, iron, protein, it is fat, immunoglobulin, and calories. Fat, immunoglobulin, and calories. So basically, naturally, the preterm milk is rich in more these things. So sodium, iron, protein, and fat, immunoglobulin, calories. This is what the preterm milk is rich in. The mnemonic we have over here is CIFIC. Now, what are the anti-infective factors in the breast milk? What are the anti-infective factors in the breast milk? This is like rare of the rare pointers I'm telling you. Anti-infective factors present in the breast milk. See, whenever the mother has to breastfeed her baby, no, she has to put the baby in the lap. She has to put the baby in the lap, and that is why the mnemonic is to be in lap, to be in LAP, lab. So number one, to be in lab, what is T stand for? T stands for TGF beta. So these are the bioactive factors we have in the breast milk. That is nothing but TGF beta. Number one, TGF beta, it is a bioactive factor present in the breast milk. To be in the lab. So B for we have bifidus factor. I'll repeat again, to be in the lab. So T for TGF beta, it is a bioactive factor, and B for bifidus factor. Bifidus factor basically and lactoferrin. This is the bifidus factor and lactoferrin. It is there in the breast milk, and it is kind of a iron binding protein. It is a kind of a iron binding protein. So exactly what they ask in the question is like TGF beta has what all factors? It has bioactive factors. So to be in the lab, B for bifidus factor and lactoferrin the breast milk has, which has a iron binding protein capacity. And this was the question basically, what is the component present in the breast milk which prevents the baby from giardia lamblia infection? Nelson SS question. What is the component present in the breast milk which prevents the baby from giardia lamblia infection? So the component present in the breast milk is lactoferrin. Lactoferrin basically helps in the giardia lamblia infection, that you should know. And what is the component in the breast milk which prevents the baby from entamoeba histolytica? That is lysozyme and BSSL. What is this BSSL? That is bile salt stimulated lipase. Bile salt stimulated lipase. I'll repeat again, life is beautiful. I'll repeat again, we have to cover the syllabus. I'll repeat again, if you're tired, wash your face, get up and start again. This is no joke. We have to do it and finish the syllabus, finish in every micro level of question. I'll repeat again, we got an idea that the benefits of breastfeeding are nothing but to be in the lab. T for T, we have the TGF beta, which are the bioactive factors. To be in lab. B for bifidus factor, which has an iron binding protein capacity. And also the breast milk has a lactoferrin, which prevents the baby from giardia lamblia. And the breast milk has a lysozyme and BSSL, which prevents the baby from entamoeba histolytica.